Hi, hello and welcome. Welcome to this short little video. One simple question with a simple, straightforward answer. Should you read this book? This is the Dutch version. The book's name is Wisdom of Insecurity. It's written by Alan Watts. The short answer, no. It was originally written by Alan Watts in 1951, which is more than 60 years ago already right now, so the book is a little bit outdated. In my opinion, you should not read this book, and I'll tell you some pros and cons and reasons why I think that way. The main pro or the reason why you might be interested to still read it after watching this video is that it's a short book. You can see it's very thin. My version in total has 130 pages of actual writing. Another main selling point, of course, is that the book is quite interesting. It produces some interesting insights into philosophy, religion, and into our daily lives really, and how we go about it and how we should better go about it. Some of the most interesting topics were religion versus science, and also language was briefly touched upon by the writer. And mainly the overarching theme also just interested me, about how our world is changing and how we are changing and what we think about and how we act upon this world and why some of those changes are not so good for us. The central theme of the book actually, which kept on being repeated, which we will come back to later, is the duality of mind and body. That duality is not there according to Mr. Watts, and everything we have is the experience right now, right here. He also opens the book with an explanation of some kind of law of opposites. I don't know the exact name anymore even, but it mainly states that when you try to hold your breath, to keep your breath with you, you lose all your breath, of course. When you struggle in quicksand to get out, you only sink in deeper, things like that. A final pro is that he manages to connect the themes in his book to all different other themes that he wants to talk about. The duality not being there and the experience in the here and now being the only thing that we really are and have is something that he can relate to a lot of other topics that he brings up, and that's quite fun to read. Now the cons, which outweigh the pros in my opinion, is that it's just a very difficult read. Take this with a grain of salt, because this might be due to my inexperience with philosophy books or because the Dutch version is just a bit poorly translated. I don't know anything about that. I'm just giving you my opinion after one read-through of the book. The book also has a lot of repetition. The main theme of duality between mind and body gets repeated in every 10 pages, probably more than once. This ties into a pro, where I told you that the writer Mr. Watts really ties that to all the topics that he encounters in his journey throughout writing this book, but after a while it starts to get a bit repetitive. The main con argument, the main argument I have against reading this book is that I think that it's a bit outdated, and I think that you could spend your time in multiple better ways than reading this book. Maybe doing something else than reading, or just reading something else. The main argument that I would use when not recommending this book to my friends is that it's just not worth your time, sadly. If you really do want to know what Mr. Watts thought about our world and how we act upon it 60 years ago, you can definitely still check it out. But for someone like me, who is more of a casual reader and we just like to read things for fun a bit, I wouldn't recommend it. I think there's better books out there to spend your time on. And that's it. Not gonna go into detail or anything. The question was, should you read it? My personal answer, my opinion, is no. Thanks a lot for watching.